o'clock. It looks like we have a quorum. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome everyone to the joint meeting for the Rules and Open Government Committee and Committee of the Whole. Tony, can we have a roll call, please?
Arenas?
Here.
Davis?
Here.
Corrales?
Here.
Jones?
Present.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to start with a review of the August 24th, 2021 final agenda. And we are going to start out on pages 4 and 5. And 6 and 7. And 8 and 9. Ten and 11. And 12. All right, so I am going to go to the public comments, and first person is Tessa. Go ahead, Tessa.
I want to make a comment. When I deal with you, I'm a teacher, okay? I'm 63 years old. I'm an educator. I talk about democracy, okay? And when I see things wrong with the way you're running the meeting, I want that to be not part of my comment period, because I'm working for you, actually. Because you say the BS, which says the rule of the whole. I'd like to hear that. That was music to my ears. I thought that was a beautiful way to say it. The whole. That means the people, too. And you're not including the people, and you're not doing a good job. So, like, for instance, so I wanted to restart my comments because I'm dealing with bookkeeping now and how you're running the meeting. And what I found annoying is that the link is hard to find for this meeting. Okay, like it's really small in very small type. You really don't want us to come, you know? And so that's why I want to restart, because I have more important things to deal with than the way you're running your meetings. But I want that to be just the bookkeeping about, making it really public. Okay, so can we restart now so I can really deal with the issue? Okay, thank you. Will you do that, Vice Mayor? Yeah, right. Yeah, you're not going to do it. So you're not going to do it. So you're saying no to me, essentially. No to my request. The rule of the whole. I shouldn't have to spend time helping with your bookkeeping because we have a climate emergency and you're not letting us have the time. It is a lot of BS. And I'm working. I've been going to the meetings of the Charter Review Commission, and you're doing a really bad job because you did not include the environment. I was called to include. I'm working to not pay the $150,000 that you gave to other people to help engagement. I'm engaged because we're dealing with a climate emergency, and you're not. And this is where the real problem is you're not, and it's all BS, and you're all actors. Okay, we've got to be real about this and go to zero now. We are on fire, literally and figuratively. The masses are coming to San Jose, okay, for housing, for food.
Thank you, Tessa. Paul, go ahead.
I'm just looking forward to a productive meeting. I wanted to note the way you kind of glided a little bit slower than last week. I just want to tell you that I appreciate that. And also thank you, Tony, for posting the agendas ahead of time. That really does makes my work a lot easier. So I just wanted to note that. Thank you.
Blair? Go ahead, Blair.
Hi, Blair Beekman here. Happy Wednesday. There's an item 10.4 that has to do with contract stuff with a new high rise that you're building, and I just hope that if needed, a reminder that you can take down the height limits a bit, 25 feet to 50 feet to 100 feet, it isn't that out of the ordinary. And just to mention this to yourselves for issues of health, safety, and danger about the future of airport flight path issues. I hope it can just help. Just a reminder that you can, take down 25, 50 feet of the height limits, of the height tops of these new high rises you're building along the airport area. Thank you.
Thank you. Bringing it back to the committee, Councilmember Davis.
Thank you. I noticed that on the ceremonial items, there should be a commendation for the Lincoln High School girls soccer team. So I would like to move the agenda, accept the agenda with that addition. For the
Second.
Thank you.
All right. It's been moved and seconded. So Tony?
Arenas,
Yes.
Cohen,
Aye.
Davis,
Yes.
Peralez,
Yes.
Jones.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, on to the agenda for pages 4 and 5. Six and 7. Eight and 9. Ten and 11. 12 and 13. 14 and 15. 16 and 17. 18 and 19. All right. So we're going to go to the public speakers. Tessa, go ahead.
Okay, good. I'm going to talk about equity because I'm a Jewish woman, okay? I'm Jewish from New York. I'm Jewish from Russia. I'm a discriminated race, okay? That is what happened in my neighborhood where I live, okay? I am discriminated against from my German neighbors, my German politicians. That is how I've been treated. I have been mistreated, okay? And you know what it really boils down to, if this is real truth, is Sheely, the street I live on. It had it in its when we're talking about redlining, it was against Jews. Talk about losing economic growth. Jews were not allowed. So I'm saying is that, because we have to only talk about climate crisis. And, somebody at Google, one of my neighbors at Google said that if there was a garden in my corner of my property, of my neighborhood, it would have my plaque on it. That's what he said. It would have my name, but I don't want my name on it. Because you have been abusing us. And you are doing such bad work for our neighborhood. It's polluted. People are dying. People are disabled. This is our neighborhood and you've done nothing. And then all you want to do is put a hotel with cars in it and housing with cars. You're doing nothing for mitigations or resiliency. And I say, I want a garden here and I want some of that $6 million that Google is giving you for your economic growth. That is BS. We have to degrow, and we're in emergency, and all we should be talking about is our emergency. And you're not. You are not. And that is evil, immoral, selfish, and greedy. And so, and the truth is coming out with my work on the it's called the Charter Review Commission. And my husband says it's got to be in the charter to reduce it to 0 in the charter.
Thank you, Tessa.
Yes, Paul Soto from the Horseshoe. Greedy, immoral, selfish, and yeah, Tessa pretty much summed it up. This particular agenda, when when we talk about equity, when we talk about redlining, when we talk about the historical injustices that flow from those kinds of policies, we talk about it in the abstract, or we talk about it to center like those like the moral framework to call that out. We center that within the context of a particular issue or argument. But there's nothing concretely that the city is doing in order to rectify that, because no city that is concerned about justice and concerned about the citizenry that has experienced that type of abuse and that type of discrimination would be talking so cavalier and easily about the zoning and the rezoning and the building these towers. You're not understanding that we're going to have to live with the context that you are making right now. Every single decision that you are making, you are forcing the citizens to deal with it. You're saying, shut your mouth, sit down, and deal with it. You don't like it, get out of here. This is what is happening. And that is these are the types of issues that Martin Luther King was stating very explicitly, that you have particular ingredients, particular social kinds of issues, that when the people are ignored and they feel absolutely powerless, helpless, and feel like they can do absolutely nothing to change the context in which they have been forced to live in, what do you think happens within that context? And those are the things that we need to be able to be mindful of and to avoid.
Thank you. Blair?
Hi, Blair Beekman here. I wanted to speak on 2 items on the agenda. One is the biannual peer review of the auditing program. And the other was to talk about the affordable housing issues that are a couple items on the agenda, actually. About the auditing issues, a big hearty congratulations that over the past few years, the auditing department has made a real specific purpose to work towards the ideas of equity and reimagine, and how those can relate, those concepts can relate to city projects and what you're doing within the city for the future of equity and reimagine ideas. The city of Oakland is not doing that so well, and they have just hit upon the magic formula that they actually, si se puede, yes, they can work towards reimagining equity ideas at this time. We've all spent the past few years with building police infrastructure and other things. We can now begin to talk about equity and reimagine. And the city of Oakland's having a bit of trouble in their auditing department to line that up. San Jose is getting it together and can give them great examples of what can be basically our future of the Bay Area. So good luck. We are moving forward. Boy, how we can do it. A good luck to all of us and a community effort. And I think we can address the current states of violence this way. With my remaining time, the affordable housing issue is what's coming down the pipe from the state and federal level and slowly entering throughout the Bay Area is affordable housing ideas of transitional housing for homeless that can pay for permanent housing, with massive new subsidy programs. This wasn't capable of happening before. It now can. So let's be ready and offer these good practices to our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Bringing it back to the committee. Councilmember Perales.
Yeah, thank you. My interest is in a time certain for item 8.6, the affordable housing siding policy. I see that's recommended not to be heard before 6. And I'd like to see if we could change that to a time certain at 6. I do believe the agenda is going to be long enough to put us through a dinner break. So and regardless, if it was not to be heard before 6, then we were already planning on a dinner break. So, but I'd rather it be a time certain if that's comfortable with my colleagues.
Yeah,
So that'll be a motion. Then I'll move approval of the agenda with a change for a time certain of 8.6.
Second.
all right, and it was moved and it was a tie for second. I wasn't quite sure who won that one, but yeah, Tony, roll call, please.
Arenas,
Yes.
Cohen,
Aye.
Davis,
Yes.
Peralez,
Yes.
Jones.
Aye.
And for the second, Arenas was the loudest, so that's the one I wrote down.
Did you say I
we'll
was
do
the
it.
loudest, Tony?
Yeah.
I love it. I won. I'm the loudest.
That's the new tiebreaker.
All right. So on to the next item, which is the public record. Going to go to the public. And I see Tessa. Go ahead.
Thank you. Public record. Okay, well, I was dealt with that already. I told you our record keeping is bad, and the record, this is really the record I'm dealing with, is that you don't put any energy towards the environment in a real way. You do nothing, and it's all BS, and it shows because there's a charter review commission, and the charter is where we can not be at the whims of our politicians who have led us to you have killed us. You have made us ill from your activities, of your support. We're sick and we're disabled, and we are, we're really sick now with COVID. And it's all because of your type of action. So I call you criminals. That's what I call. And that, you hurt us and you're not listening to us. And things are getting worse and worse and worse because you're not listening. And, it's just really bad now. It's really bad now, and my husband has no hope. So anyway, there's hope but we're having to fight. The problem is we talk about rules and all these things open for the whole. That's not happening in what's happening. What? No, I'm telling you, this is don't interrupt. I am telling you something important about the review.
Can you help me out? I'm trying to.
What? I'm telling you,
trying to
don't take my time. Don't take my time. That's rude. That's taking away from the topic, which is climate crisis, and you're taking it away, and do not take it away. I'm telling you right now, we are not dealing with it because I'm dealing with the Charter Review Commission, and she's having trouble getting even the climate crisis on the agenda. Okay, I've had to help her. There's been so much corruption about it, and there's nothing going on with it. And I'm having trouble, and I'm having to work on not getting paid, like the $150,000 you gave to other nonprofits, okay? And there was no environmental group on it, none, okay? Because you don't want to change, and that is the truth. And we see it in all your actions, and I'm sick of it, and I can't take it anymore, okay? And that's what Demetrice Hedeman says. She's half Black and half Mexican, so maybe you listen to her, okay? She's not white and Jewish like me, okay? She says we need a revolution.
Tessa, just for future reference, just if you could stay on topic in terms of addressing the letters there in the public record, that'd be greatly appreciated. Blair, go ahead.
Hi, Blair Beekman here. In my own, I'm going to speak to a few words that Tessa spoke about at Open Forum. To speak to my own letter today in public record, to again offer 90 days after December 31st, 2021 is when the eviction moratorium ends in the counties of Alameda and Santa Clara. So, it's the September 30th date that we have to really be considering, because that will give a certain amount of power to owners to evict tenants. And that's what Jackie's really working on. And thank you for all her efforts. And sorry for my own misinterpretations of this subject back in June. She's doing something awesome possibly for the local level. Let's hope she can do that. And if not, the city council and city government has the power to create emergency declarations at the end of September. So good luck in those efforts. With 57 seconds, my second letter was about the importance of the work I'm doing towards accountability and open public policies with technology. It can really help. There was a reimagined public safety meeting today. It can really help that process and help both sides, chart a good course of what are good open public policy practices, and to develop a future that is more allows the community more of a voice in the community government process. And that's the whole point of my work that I'm doing. It's a new future we're headed towards. And, the open democratic process and the community process is incredibly important. It's not just a democracy of a republic. It's a democracy of the individual. We're learning to do that better here in San Jose. Let's keep up that good work. It's ideas of peace and sustainability with good guidelines to show us how to do that. Thanks.
Thank you. Bringing it back to the committee. Can I get a motion, please?
Motion and note and file.
Second.
Okay, Tony, I'll let you pick this one too.
Well,
Who's louder?
Arena is louder, so it's whoever I hear the best is who I pick up on. But I appreciate
I love it.
that I can hear.
It's the first time that I'm rewarded for being loud.
Okay, so to vote, Arenas,
Yes.
Cohen,
Aye.
Davis,
Yes.
Peralez,
Yes.
Jones.
Hi.
And I would appreciate if you guys are that loud in the council chambers, because sometimes that second is hard to hear in council chambers.
Okay. All right, on to the consent calendar, and we're going to go to the Blake, Tessa. Go ahead.
All right, thank you. Well, the thing I really liked about the county, when they would deal, like when you were showing us those pages, we couldn't read anything. We didn't know what was going on. Something they did in the county, they actually read like the out loud what they were, so we could hear it and know what you're consenting to. But you don't do that. You just one page, but I can't read it. Anyway, getting to the public, getting to the issue of whatever it is that you're dealing with. You're not dealing with our crisis. That is the truth. And so that's because you're politicians and you can't. And so because you're running for office and you have to lie and cheat and get a lot of money to become an officer. And so, and that's your salary. And that's what they say. When it's your salary, you can't see the truth, okay? And so what we need is in the charter, and that's what we're working on. My husband is working on that. My husband is putting in the charter what we need to do. And one of the things he suggests is that we have a climate crisis action team. And I'm getting the best scientists to come and talk to you guys. Okay, I'm getting them. James Hansen, who said in 1988 that he's from NOAA, from the space. He said he saw the data, like my husband sees the data, that we were rising, our temperatures were rising, it's caused by fossil fuel burning. And he told us that in 1988. And that's who I want to have come, because he said it was already dangerous. He went to Congress, and we've been abdicating. We don't listen to the science. We're not listening. But the thing is, it's here now. So, that's the truth, that we can't look away from that. You even had to declare a climate emergency again with COVID. They say COVID's not going away. Okay, so we have crises on top of crises. And the climate crisis, like my son said, if we solve that, we will solve everything. And it is true. It is true. So let's do it. Let's really do it. No BS. No more just business as usual. No more hotels. No more bringing vices. No more bringing an anonymity. No more bringing disease to my neighborhood. How dare you bring a hotel into my neighborhood with the Delta and all the other variants?
Blair, go ahead.
All right, Blair Beekman here. As you'll be raising a flag for SJSU in the next few weeks, thank you. Very nice gesture. I just wanted to quickly offer that I know that you're dealing with issues of VTA bus bridge service, a second bus bridge, and its connection to SJSU. That's getting a lot of talk right now. And just a reminder that a second bus bridge along the Capitol Avenue corridor can help tremendously to help efforts of school for not only San Jose State, but for Mission College. And Just a reminder to be thinking about that. I really hope we can get that going by, say, the beginning of September. And just a reminder of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Paul?
Yeah, Paul Soto. I had to kind of like do a double take because I saw the words car show and then I saw a memo by Cohen. And so those two things, like, it created this cognitive dissonance in my mind, right? And so when I looked at it, man, I thought that that was just like really cool to see uh, a councilman that you normally would not associate with sponsoring a car show in Alviso, you know. And so I thought that was cool, that he for the gesture. But with respect to Alviso itself, yesterday there was a kind of a flippant. I think sometimes when we talk, and you know, of course, I've been guilty of this myself, is that when we talk about certain things, I think sometimes the conveyor doesn't really think about how what they're saying, how it's going to be received by the people that actually exist in these places, in these spaces. And there was a very flippant way in which Alviso's numbers with respect to data was excluded because something had to do with mailboxes or something like that. And the way that it was spoken about was like, oh, okay, well, yeah, it's Alviso. We don't have those numbers here because we don't count them, but you know, that's all right. It's no big deal. And that was like indicative of the kinds of treatment that the city has received as a whole. Alviso was actually the first port. It was a very critical port for San Jose in order to connect it to San Francisco before we had the railroad. And so it was very, very critical for the commerce with respect to San Jose and the entire region.
Well, looks like we lost you, Paul, at the end. All right. No other public comments. Tony?
Arenas,
Yes.
Cohen,
Aye.
Davis,
Yes.
Peralez,
Yes.
Jones.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, the next topic is Community and Economic Development Committee work plan. And we're going to go to the public first. Tessa, go ahead.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, that was, just realizing what we really need. What I'm working on, so you know what I'm working on, is getting a letter to you and having the whole neighborhood write you a letter. Okay, that's what I'm working on, because we need in the charter something about, not something, a lot about our climate crisis, because that's what you do when you're in a crisis. You only talk about a crisis, and that's when we have one world voice. We all talk about the crisis and we all work on it, because we are not. And there's a lot of BS. That's BS. And
Tessa,
so, okay.
I
Oh, now you're gonna
apologize
interrupt me again. Oh, I'm off topic. But
Yes.
the topic is this: we are a very critical topic we're working on as a charter review commission. Okay, and it's been bogarted. It's been resisted. Nobody wants to give them time. Nobody's giving them any money. And then and here you're not even giving me my 2 minutes. So
Tessa,
I'm saying to you what that
Can
this
you,
is
can you speak to Community and Economic Development?
Yeah, you're going to interrupt me. I know, and that's the thing. We need to, okay, I will speak to it. We need to
Thank you.
degrow. That is absolutely true. We need to degrow. That's fine. Thank you. So we need to degrow. And that means taking care of basic human needs. And that is the crisis we are in. We are in a crisis. If you haven't seen the burning in California, then you're not paying attention. And if you haven't seen the air quality, you are not paying attention. And most likely you're not, because that my husband is, because he looks at the real news. He looks at the satellites. That's what, whatever that guy who said we have 1 degree, that's it. Now we're going towards 1.5. And then they made compromises to 2 degrees because we're doing business as usual. And we have to stop now. And we have to start doing real things, because it takes a long time to grow food. And these are the things we need to be doing, is getting ready for the emergencies that are coming. And that's what the science says. It's everywhere. And that's what we need you to all sign together in one voice, say climate change is real. And we put it in the charter because that would be wonderful. And we might save ourselves.
Thank you, Tessa. Blair?
Hi, Blair Beekman here. I'd just like to thank you, or just to continue what I was saying in a public record time, that there is an incredible list of legal guidelines and legal precedents that are capable and they're happening with surveillance and technology ordinance ideas. People like the state of California, the ACLU, the state of Massachusetts, the UN even, among a bunch of other people are working towards a future of more the democracy and community of the individual as opposed to a large republic. Really check out this stuff. I mean, it can really address, for instance, I don't know, it's really hopeful stuff. There's two items that I really want to speak about on your upcoming work plans for this issue. And one is earthquake retrofit. And I just wanted to really thank yourselves for, Jackie was talking about earthquake retrofit ideas 6 or 7 years ago. And the need that if you do those things, it can pay the owners to reestablish and rebuild their place, and that can offer savings to the future of tenants. I don't think we quite went for it at the time, and now we are. And now we have to almost, because we have to prepare for upcoming earthquakes and natural disasters in the Bay Area. So, the subsidies can be good practices. We just have to make sure to use them responsibly and well, and that they're not used in terms of, developing real estate companies themselves, but that they're specifically intended to help everyday community. Boy, I had one other item I wanted to speak about, and I just cannot remember it, and it's on this agenda for the work plan. Hopefully I can offer a few words at open forum time. Thank you.
All right. Paul? Go ahead, Paul.
Paul Soto. This is a critical plan because it has economics, it has housing issues. I think verbiage. We need to really get away from talking about to end homelessness. Okay, because I think that gives a very false narrative around, because you and I both know that's not going to happen. That is just not going to happen in this city. So it's an insult to, just even semi-intelligent people that somehow or another what you were doing is going to end it. Okay, because your failures, and I will continue to center this, every single member of this council, 100% responsible for the fact that from 2016 till now, 95 to 115% of market rate housing goals have been met without fail every single year. At the same time, a maximum of 25% affordable ELI, VLI housing has been met. This is intentional. That's why it's dangerous to be having a developer like Gary Dillabo sitting in on these meetings. This is an architectural result. This is like an architect designed that system, okay? And you are not accepting the responsibility for those failures because you failed us. Because that's compounded interest. Every single year that you failed, that's compounded to the next year and then the next year. And now we're dealing with it and we're trying to, everybody's trying to make excuses about what has happened, but it's right there in the data. So don't preach to me about data and it's being boss when you don't even follow it.
Thank you, Paul. Bringing it back to the committee, whoever the person who makes the second, you got to bring it, because otherwise Councilmember Reyes will get it every time.
I'll just move approval.
All right.
Second.
Okay.
I stopped seconding.
Councilmember Cohen, you got to come a little harder than that next time, but
I'm practicing. I'm working on it.
We'll take it. All right, Tony.
Arenas,
Yes.
Cohen,
Aye.
Davis,
Yes.
Perales,
Yes.
Jones.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, on to open forum. Tessa, go ahead.
Well, I was just seeing that in this, what we're proposing to you, okay? So it's a letter is going to be coming to you, hopefully from all the environmentalists in the world. If I could get them all together, they'd write you a letter, okay? But it's a lot of work to do that. So I'm taking the time to do this with you now. And I'm saying to you guys that we need to have in the charter committee, first of all, it's been so difficult in the charter review commission to even get any time to talk about the climate crisis. But she fought very hard, Magnolia Siegel, who was appointed by Dev Heinert Davis. So thank you, Dev. You did a good job because she's doing a great job, Magnolia Siegel. Okay. And she's trying to get climate change to be in the charter. And she's getting my husband to talk to her. And we had a great subcommittee with Rick Callender about equity. And it was really powerful. But that's something that needs to be corrected. The subcommittee should be aired. It's very important. Everything we talk about is important. And we're in a crisis and we need to really be working on it. And so my husband is designing it, putting it into the charter, making how we can go to zero, because he knows that's what we have to do. And he's starting it, that he says that it has to be completely revealed how much fossil fuels you're using and then shown to the public. And that's what, Paul was saying to you. Paul was saying that you're responsible for us going down, and I'm saying it is criminal that you've hurt us, and we have diseases. And we're look at the disease we have, and I blame it on you because you haven't done what New Zealand did, shuts it down when there's one case of the disease, and like Paul said yesterday too. He said, that event you had, my girlfriend Demetrice Hedeman said too, it was a spreader, the jazz concert that you had to make money. You're making money. You want us to go back into the airports and this type of thing. And it's all wrong. And so we have to change. That's what the science says. And we need.
Thank you. Blair?
Hi, thank you, Blair Beekman. Thanks for the meeting. I looked up and remember what I wanted to talk about, rezoning for the flea market. To quickly offer, I hope you can remember that, the new flea market union, and they can actually have a really good voice in helping the actual development of the future of the place, of the land. And, I think they can actually help design buildings, how much office space is needed, how much residential space, and to better develop vending things. Really trust them. I mean, I think that's part of the process that we can develop that will just be really amazing for our future, what can happen. With a minute 17 to comment on a few of Tessa's words, and actually first to bring up, to conclude with my ideas about, what's really, really possible about the future of local community democracy. I mean, it's ideas of peace and sustainability. It does have some UN guidelines that are part of it. And it's those guidelines that we walk right back to the UN at this time and ask them what's going on. And we describe to them what we could be building our future about. And it isn't about hurting people to work towards our better future. I think we can really bring this to them and show them exactly what they need to be doing for our future. It's these kind of practices that can help the Charter Commission that, they're doing some really interesting work in terms of community and the public, and they're making that incredibly important. Let's hope we can continue those good efforts and to bring in the future of clean energy and good energy future ideas as well. Sustainable energy future, climate future. With 10 seconds left, I have a lot more to say, and I guess I'll say it tomorrow at tomorrow's meeting. Thanks.
Thank you. Person with the number ending in 4963.
Yeah, hi, Martha O'Connell. Chappie, this is not directed toward you because I commend you for your valiant attempt to run a good meeting. Over my lifetime, I have been the chair of many commissions and committees and other entities, and I can tell you that what my colleagues on these entities have told me is that there need to be rules And those rules need to be, everyone needs to understand the level playing field, and those rules need to be enforced. Right now, unfortunately, it seems that bad behavior is being rewarded. When people call in, and despite the rules, they talk about the topic, another topic, when they've been called on for a specific topic, and they go on and on and on. That is not fair to the rest of us who are obeying the rules. I would love to talk about rent control every time I call in, but I don't do that. I stick to the topic. So, Chappie, thank you very much for being a gentleman and for attempting to run the meetings in a fair manner. Maybe you need to get a little firmer, and that is said with a lot of respect. So please don't take it personally or negatively. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, Paul Soto. I'd just like to express to the caller that they don't have to listen in either. There is a choice to make, and they don't have to listen. You know, there are certain allowances that are given in these council meetings, and that's duly noted and acknowledged. And that's part of the process of the council hearing the feedback from the decisions that they make. And I think they make those allowances intentionally with parameters, but intentionally they do that. And I acknowledge that. Friday at 6467 Almaden Avenue, there's going to be a strike. And the Burger King is going to go on strike. Every single employee, they're going to demand money. And then finally, yes, there's going to be an organization that is finally going to say, no, we're not going to tolerate this anymore, and we're going to strike. Okay, and it's because there's been Mexicans that have been working there. This one dude who had a heat stroke. What they're asking for is working conditions, that they're not overheated. One person had an actual heat stroke. He comes back to work and the conditions are the same. And so these people, they're being exploited because they have to work. They must work. Or else we're going to have a landlord having a gun pointed at them by the sheriff's department and point a gun at them and say, get out of that house now. You and your family get out, because the landlord needs to profit from it. That's what we're talking about here. So 6467 Almaden Avenue at the Burger King, Friday, 1:30 p.m. They are striking. They're demanding $15 minimum across the board, and they're demanding better working conditions so that the people don't have heat strokes because they.
Thank you, Paul. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.